Anthony, you have this beautiful, just sweet sound to your voice. How do you tend to describe, though, the music that you make?
The music I make, I tend to, I like to think that it's soothing, but it also comes from a very heartfelt place, a warm place, um, but at the same time, it's danceable. It
It's a
can
little
be energy.
salsa, it's a little rock,
Yeah,
it's a little pop.
yeah. So it's energy. It's definitely energetic. But I do like to think that it's music that is easy and calming to listen to. It's not stuff that's abrupt or you can easily get tired listening to. I try to make a record that you can hear from top to bottom without having to take a break.
Who are
Yeah.
some of the artists that influenced you then when you were growing up?
Oh my goodness. So there are quite a few. So in the Latin and the salsa world, I'm a huge fan of an artist from Dominican Republic, Juan Luis Guerra and Fernando Villalona. In Puerto Rico, I was a huge fan of this group called Sonora Ponceña, and then obviously the Eddie Palmieris, who later I got the chance to sing with. Um, and a huge funk fan, as a matter of fact. So I loved listening to Tower of Power. Tower of Power was actually the first live performance I saw when I was a kid. A father of a friend of mine, as a matter of fact, my friend, his name is Andrew Marshall. He's the current drummer and has been for quite a number of years for Billie Eilish. When we were kids, his dad took us to BB King, the venue on 42nd Street, which no longer is there. And we sat in the front row, and it was my first time seeing a live band. It was Tower of Power, and I was completely in love with that band.
It's so great to hear you have some new music out now. What inspired Imagínate conmigo?
I think this album is uh, it's just it's at a point that I really wanted to say something, and not just lyrically, but musically and sonically. It's a reflection of where I am today as a songwriter, as a producer, um, someone who likes to bring different influences because I have the salsa and the rock and roll background and all these different things and the Latin jazz. And I wanted to bring it all together into one space while salsa being the bed. Definitely include various influences. So I think yeah, I think this record is just a great representation, a reflection of who I am today, and what I really wanted to say.
How did you come to work with Ronald Borjas on it?
Ronald is a great friend. He's a phenomenal person, an incredible singer. As a matter of fact, Ronald probably doesn't know this, but I was a huge fan of his when he was in Guaco. Um, I remember there was a live album that they put out, and I probably listened to that album for a number of hours. I memorized a lot of the music, and we became friends. We met at an event in New York. We were both special guest singers for this band, Los Rumberos del Callejón. And there were multiple singers, Jeremy Bosch, Geraldo Rivas, Angel Rios. There were quite a number of singers, but I really got to hang out with Ronald quite a bit. And then I would go down to Miami and visit him, so we sparked a friendship. So when we started working on this song, I like imagining who the features are while we're putting the song together, because it makes it sound organic. So it was pretty easy to hear Ronald Borjas singing this tune. And as a matter of fact, when I presented it to him, I told him I have the perfect song for you to sing. You know, so it
Big
worked out beautiful.
words.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
When it comes to songwriting, is there a process you have every time where you need to maybe think about the percussion parts first and then come maybe with the lyrics? Or does it vary every time you find a beat and then you work out the lyrics and find where the percussion fits in a little bit?
Interestingly enough, I think about percussion last. So the first thing I think about is um, is the melody. Usually the melody comes to me first, and then I let that dictate what the song is going to be about. I want the melody and the harmonic structure under the melody um, to move what my lyrics would be about, and to spark the emotion before lyrics appear, which I try to create a bed of music, of sound under my lyrics that support what the emotion is, whether you understand the song or not. Which, one of the things I love to hear from, especially from like the E Street fans, you know, I don't understand a word you're saying on these songs because they don't speak Spanish, but I feel your music.
Ugh.
That's very important to me.
Sure, I'm the feedback you must be getting to Máquina Hey Conmigo when people tell you how it touched them or how it helps or it's maybe a soundtrack to something they did, those moments must mean more to you than you can even put into words possibly.
Yeah, and for me also, seeing the excitement of people, because I think when we put this album, when we put the song out, people had no idea what to expect sonically. What type
Mhm.
of music or what type of salsa is it going to be? Like, and it's very different from some of the stuff that I've done prior, where it was much more traditional. This is not traditional at all. I'm definitely bending a lot of, I don't want to say rules, but traditions and ideas in salsa. Even in the mixing and mastering, which Javier Wise was the engineer, mixing engineer, and he was phenomenal. Chris Geringer, I don't think he's ever mastered a salsa album before. That was all. That was all done with purpose. But seeing the excitement of the people, but also the excitement of everyone that's worked on it, I think that's uh, very gratifying to me. Just seeing all the musicians and everyone who's put their fingerprint to some degree. Really excited about this project. That really that makes me excited.
Your debut full-length album, Conversando Con La Luna, comes out in May. What are some themes you'll be exploring on it?
That album, it's there's a lot of, I love writing um, with like utilizing nature and especially the moon. Something struck with me with the moon, and I came up with this idea that I wrote these tunes, even if I didn't write all the tunes, which I did not. But there's a common theme and a common sentiment. Um, and I just imagined myself reflecting it all back to the moon. And the title track, Conversando con La Luna, was the very last song I wrote for the album, and I wanted to encapsulate that feeling, that emotion. What is in the album? The exploration of love, being in love. There's a song that expresses the fear of falling too deeply in love. But it all comes from a very positive and um, and a very vulnerable place, while also it being fun and danceable and very very light. Um, I wanted to tap into those emotions, and express. So it's very positive for sure. But there's a lot of love, and not so much falling in love with somebody, but just the experience of being in love.
The album sound is co-produced with pianist Jonathan Montes. How did he help shape the music that's for this album as well?
Jonathan is a very talented pianist and arranger and just a great musical mind. And one of the things that drew me to Jonathan and working on this project with him is his sensibility as a musician and as a person. Because a lot of these songs, the first thing is writing the tune and what does the tune say and what message, what feeling does it evoke? And then the music has to support that. And to have someone like Jonathan who understands that so well and can convey it to other musicians, and he's just he was vital for this. And the way I connected with Jonathan for this record, as a matter of fact, I was invited to be a special guest, a featured artist on a track, um, uh, this was back a couple years ago with percussionist Kevin Ricard, and Jonathan was the producer and arranger of that track, and I fell in love with that track, and that was the kind of the seed with that planted in my head. I need to make an album along this route. This is the kind of music that I want to put together. And because he did such an incredible job producing that track, I want him to be a part of this one.
I have to say, my favorite tracks are Rompecorazones and Cómo dejar de quererte. I have to
Yeah.
pronounce it right. Are there particular tracks on the album that hold a special place in your heart?
Those tracks you mentioned, um, they hold a very special place in my heart because I don't have too many special guests on this album because I didn't want to bury it with a lot of guests, especially vocal guests. But having Ronald on a track was very special to me. On Rompe Corazones, I'm featuring an artist that I've admired for quite a long time from a distance, Alexander Abreu, who's a Cuban trumpeter and singer. And he's been very successful with his music. And to have him be a guest on the track and him so willingly wanting to be a part of it was super special. And then on Como Dejar de Quererte, um, I'm featuring a jazz pianist who's just out of this world. I mean, he is, and he just won a Grammy, which and I saw him at the Grammy Awards this January. Gonzalo Rubalcaba. I look up to him just because he's a virtuoso. I mean, he's out of this world. And to bring him back into his kind of roots and playing, just song music, Cuban music, salsa, and that was really special for me. But I think, yeah, there's Conversando con La Luna, that track, just because it was the last song I wrote, and I'm really proud of the just the lyrics and how it came out. And also Solo por ti, which is a very heartfelt acoustic, just beautiful song, and it's quite the breather in the album. But every tune is very special to me.
All of them are absolutely beautiful, and I'm eager for you to start playing some of them live. Do you have some tour dates set up yet, or are we working on that?
We're working on some dates, but definitely we have July 9th. I'm doing an album release party at Dizzy's at Jazz at Lincoln Center, New York City. We're doing two shows that evening, and I am very much so looking forward to performing all these tunes because it'll be the first time I perform these tunes. But I am working on some more dates, and I'll be posting them and putting them out on Instagram and all the platforms.
What can fans expect from a live Anthony Almonte performance? Besides, you will not be in your seat for very long.
Definitely not. I am quite a I like to say I'm an energetic performer because I really get into the music world, whether I'm playing percussion or singing. I have a great time. Like I love being on stage. I love performing for people, and I don't hide it one bit. Um, and these tunes, just to sing them live because they come from such a wonderful place and there's such a reflection of the work that I've been putting out recently. I think I'm gonna have a very good time singing this music. I don't think so. I know I will have a lot of fun, and I
Exactly.
think everyone is gonna have a great time. I think so.
Is there an emotion or a message you really hope lingers with people when they explore Conversando con La Luna in May?
Yes, definitely. I love the word reflection. I know it's not an emotion, it's an action, but reflection. I think that's so important, and it's so necessary. We have to take time and reflect, and I hope this music makes it easier to do so, even if it's just to put you in the mood to let me sit down and just take a moment for myself, um, and then hope and joy because we're always in need of both things. Um, so I hope that with my music, I can always provide hope uh, and plenty of joy. This world definitely needs more of that. So I will try to always do my part in in transmitting some of that.
You've shared the stage with legends like Jackson Brown, Carol G, Paul McCartney, Richie Sambora. Do you have some dream collabs in mind?
Oh my goodness! I mean, yeah, absolutely. So I just recently worked with Carol G, and she was just a sweetheart, and her whole team they were phenomenal folks. I had such a wonderful experience. We did the Victoria's Secret fashion show together, and would it be awesome for to have her on a track? Oh my God, absolutely. I've been following a lot of the singer from Spain, Ana Mena, who I think she's phenomenal. I'd love to do a collaboration with female artists. I think those they tend to just blossom in a different way, and I think it would be a lot of fun. It's something that I really haven't done much, and I would love to. And there's other artists, of course, that I would love to do a song with my friend Jeremy Bosch and Gilberto Santa Rosa, and bringing more rock and roll artists and musicians into this world as well, because why not? I love meshing, different sounds and influences. So
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful music you continue to put out?
well, thank you for supporting my music and supporting my career, whether as a singer or as a percussionist for Bruce. Just that alone, I am so grateful because I never thought that this would be a possibility when I was a kid. I just did music just from the bottom of my heart because it's what I love to do, not expecting anything in return, and I've gotten so much love in return. Um, so I never expect anything. I just am thankful for that. And as long as they keep showing me love, I'm always going to be very grateful.
You're so good at making music, so please, 2026, I believe, is going to be a big year for you. Lots more good stuff to come from you. Maybe you're even already starting to make some new music by chance.
We don't stay still. We're always making new music. As a matter of fact, I'm currently in Los Angeles because we're going to perform with the E Street Band 2 nights at the Forum. And Jonathan Montes lives out here in Los Angeles. And the first thing I told him is like, when I get there, let's start working on some new stuff. We got to continue making music. That's what we do. That's what we love to do. That's our passion. So that wheel is always turning.